Topping headlines tonight, the double homicide of O.J. Simpson's ex-wife Nicole Brown Simpson and her friend Ron Goldman began the trial of a century, with O.J. Simpson facing murder charges and being found not guilty. Now, decades later, a new discovery, a piece of potential evidence. ABC's Lauren Lister reports from L.A. on what this means.
Simpson not guilty of a crime of murder.
The O.J. Simpson trial was settled decades ago, but Los Angeles police this morning clearing up a new story going around.
Regarding a alleged knife that may have been recovered, possibly in connection to O.J. Simpson case.
Los Angeles Police Department revealing how they got that knife within the last month.
LAPD became aware of an item that was allegedly recovered by a citizen at the Rockingham property, possibly during the demolition.
That property, O.J. Simpson's old Brentwood home, demolished in 1998. Police say they're told it was an off-duty or retired police officer working in the area, there for a movie job, who claims a construction worker gave him the knife, saying it was found on the estate.
The defendant having been acquitted of...
O.J. Simpson was acquitted of murder charges in the 1994 stabbing deaths of Nicole Brown Simpson and her friend Ron Goldman. Simpson continues to claim he's innocent.
Howard! Whoa, slow down here.
Now, many TV viewers reliving the whole trial in a new FX miniseries, The People vs. O.J. Simpson. As for what the discovery of this knife could mean...
No matter what this knife turns out to be, it won't lead to O.J. Simpson getting prosecuted again.
And that's because of double jeopardy. Police emphasizing that they're still vetting the story to figure out if it's real or made up and examining that knife for all forensics such as DNA. In Commitment 2016 political coverage tonight, 4029 caught up with the Arkansas Attorney General Leslie Rutledge in Fort Smith today. The Republican says she was impressed by the number of people coming out to vote in Tuesday's primary. The Secretary of State also says that some counties saw 40% voter turnout, and she says there's a reason behind that.
I think it speaks volumes to how frustrated Arkansans are, how frustrated Americans are about what's happening or what's not happening in Washington, D.C.
Rutledge threw her support behind former Republican presidential candidate Mike Huckabee, but says she is not endorsing anyone else right now. Republican presidential candidates are back at it on the campaign trail today after last night's debate. Several states holding a nominating contest this weekend, and this fight for the delegates is drawing fresh fire between the candidates. 4029 Sally Kidd in Washington now with the latest.
Donald Trump's opponents are hammering away at him as unfit to be president, and Trump is hitting back. The frenzied feuding and back and forth insults go on.
He lies. I never saw a guy lie like this guy. I call him Lion Ted.
Between Donald Trump and his closest rivals.
But Donald Trump embodies that Washington corruption.
Little Marco.
Anyone who thinks the nuclear triad was a rock band is not qualified to be the commander-in-chief.
Marco Rubio focused on Kansas, where polls show Trump's lead is narrowing over Ted Cruz.
My campaign has not been built on personal insults.
Cruz campaigned in Maine for a share of the 23 delegates at stake.
We're here because our country's in crisis.
Governor John Kasich delivered a pitch to conservatives in Washington.
Was Kasich a conservative? Well, I only reformed welfare, balanced the federal budget, cut taxes.
Meantime, the GOP frontrunner looked ahead to Tuesday's big prize, Michigan.
Mexico is becoming the car capital of the world, whether you like it or not.
Also campaigning in the Wolverine state, the Democratic frontrunner.
Michigan proves every day that American workers are the best in the world.
While rival Bernie Sanders rallied Illinois college students.
Education and jobs, not more jails, not more incarceration.
Well, this weekend's contests include the Louisiana primary, the Kansas caucuses, Republican caucuses in Kentucky and in Maine, and Democratic caucuses in Maine and Nebraska. Tomorrow, Democrats Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders will battle for 3 more states. Nebraska and Kansas will hold caucuses, and Louisiana will hold a primary. Delegates will total up to 126. Democratic presidential candidate Bernie Sanders is campaigning ahead of Saturday's caucus. Yesterday, he went to Lawrence, Kansas to try and win over the state. The senator gave a speech hitting on main issues like income inequality, healthcare reform, and student loan debt. The presidential hopeful says he's feeling confident about tomorrow.
And I think that if all of you and your friends and coworkers come out on Saturday, we're going to have a pretty good victory here in Kansas.
Sanders also used his speech to call out the Koch brothers. He says the Kansas businessmen are spending $900 million to elect a Congress that'll do the bidding of the wealthy and the powerful. Meantime, experts say Hillary Clinton's tax plan would raise more than $1 trillion. The Nonpartisan Tax Policy Center says that most of the money will come from wealthy taxpayers. Clinton is proposing a minimum tax for top earners, as well as repealing other incentives. Now, the Democratic frontrunner is also proposing a tax cut for the middle class. President Bill Clinton stumping in Louisiana for his wife Hillary. Today he spoke to voters in Central City. He was at the Baton Rouge last night, the Baton Rouge area, energizing his wife's supporters to vote in tomorrow's caucuses. And click smarter tonight. You can track how the candidates are doing and where the latest polls are putting the candidates. That's at 4029tv.com. Missouri primaries are less than 2 weeks away, and like Arkansas, parts of the Show Me State are preparing with new voting equipment. Officials tested the new optical voting machines yesterday. They capture a photo of each ballot as a record keeper instead of creating a paper trail.
Test decks that we have, they're marked. Each candidate has 1 or 2 or 3 votes, and some of them are unvoted and some of them are overvoted, and the machine will kick them out. So you have to make sure the machine's operating properly.
Officials wanted to test the accuracy of the new equipment before March 15th. This week on Matter of Fact with Fernando Espuelas, a new look at the debate over voter ID laws. Are they protecting our civil rights? Plus, ahead of Sunday's debate in Flint, a look at how the water crisis has impacted thousands of lives. And a woman owes her life to the quick actions of a state trooper. New tonight, see the video of her rescue moments before her car explodes. Also new on 4029, astronaut Scott Kelly talks about how it feels to be back on Earth. Find out why he says it burns. But first, a live look outside. This is at Get Ready Traffic. This is in Rogers there. Lanes on Interstate 49 looking pretty clear right now. We're going to keep you posted. You could be delayed by traffic tonight in certain areas. We are also just told in a breaking news alert that traffic is heading south. Heading south is delayed by 7 minutes.
Live, local, late breaking. You're watching 4029 News at 5 with Kelly Johnson, Daniel Armbruster, and Chief Meteorologist Darby Bybee.
Breaking news of this hour, Dr. Ben Carson says he is out of the presidential race. The neurosurgeon was at one point a major figure in the race, but faced problems last fall when key aides started to leave the campaign. This leaves John Kasich, Marco Rubio, Texas Senator Ted Cruz, and Donald Trump in the race for the nomination. And new information tonight in the death of a Texas police officer. Authorities say the gun used to kill him was stolen. Euless officer David Hoffer was shot and killed Tuesday afternoon in a park. The officer had arrested the shooting suspect the day before it happened. As you can imagine, the city of Euless is now in mourning.
We lost one of Euless' finest yesterday. A fiance lost the love of her life.
I have no more tears in me. I can't cry anymore.
A memorial service for that officer will happen tomorrow, and thousands are expected to attend. Officers from nearby police departments will patrol the streets so that other officers can attend the private viewing. Happening now, Mexican drug lord El Chapo says he wants to be extradited to the United States. El Chapo's attorney says he's sleep deprived in the Mexican jail and is getting ill. So he wants to be transferred to the U.S., where he plans to plead guilty to drug trafficking charges. But his attorney says the drug lord would only do that if he's held in a medium security prison and not in isolation. El Chapo is wanted in 7 states. Tonight, 4 boys in Indiana are expected to be charged as adults in an arson investigation. Police say they targeted their high school principal's house. However, one of the boys is in 8th grade. The arrest putting an anxious neighborhood at ease, but the principal is not sure how he feels about the punishment coming.
Yeah, I have mixed feelings. I never want to see people go through, bad things. I know there are families and everything. There are a lot of people that will be impacted by their decisions. But I also feel like if somebody is going to do something like this, they need to be held accountable.
Well, police say that the boys lit the principal's outside trash can on fire as retaliation for being suspended. Well, the fire quickly spread to the garage, destroying their home, 3 cars, and almost everything else inside. Now, the good news is no one was hurt. A Missouri state trooper is being called a hero tonight for acting fast when a chase ended with a crash. It was all caught on camera. Take a look. Police dashcam video shows a driver fleeing police, at times going 100 miles per hour. And then we see that driver strike another car, which caught fire. With flames spreading fast, the officer ran to the 60-year-old woman who was behind the wheel as gas spilled from the ruptured tank.
I knew I had to get her out of there because I've worked probably 1,000+ accidents in my career, and once a car catches on fire, the time that they take to go up is pretty quick.
With at least a half a dozen broken bones, including in her back, that woman laid helpless. Less than 90 seconds after the officer carried her away, her car explodes. She's still recovering today, and the man accused of crashing or causing that crash faces several charges, including resisting arrest. Meantime, Boeing created a new bathroom for the germaphobe in all of us. The touchless system includes a hands-free toilet, faucet, and garbage can. When the bathroom is empty, ultraviolet light is used to kill germs. And toilet seats would raise automatically to make sure the entire surface is exposed to UV light, which kills 99% of germs. Boeing filed a patent but says more studies need to be done before it's offered on flights. New at 5, we're learning that AMC Theaters is now the biggest movie theater chain in the world. AMC announced it had bought Carmike Theaters in a deal worth $1.1 billion. This will give AMC more than 600 theater locations in 45 states in the United States. The deal is expected to be complete by the end of this year. Well, there's a new trend catching on. It's the tiny house movement. While there won't be any big parties or a whole lot of closet space, it'll provide experience, job training, and transportation. Our sister station's Megan Pringle has a tour of what it's like to live smaller. New at 5.
It's brand new, modern looking, and has more than a dozen energy-saving materials. Even a pedal generator that delivers power. There's just one hitch. It's tiny. 200 square feet, an 8 by 20, 13.5 foot tall house.
This has got a bathroom, a kitchen, a bedroom. You really could live in it.
Home is where the heart is, even in the smallest of spaces. This was built through the Civic Works program. Their Youth Build program gives job training and education for low-income young people in Baltimore City.
They really feel like they could build an entire house. They could do all of the different facets that it takes, and it gives them the confidence to go out and get a job.
That's one goal. The other was making sure it's energy efficient.
It's got all the modern amenities. It's got a on-demand water heating system, cool roof. It's got solar, electric.
Because it's on wheels, they can show off the new tiny house, but being mobile allows people to travel and live on site.
Housing could go where the jobs are, and that would help bring more Baltimore City residents the jobs that they need.
The tiny house may just be one small step. This is the first one, but the hope is that they can build 12 a year. That means more job training and more opportunity. Proof that big things really do come in small packages.
Well, we want to know if you think you could live like that. You can tweet us at 4029 News or at 4029 Page to let us know your thoughts on that tiny lifestyle. And new at 5, astronaut Scott Kelly is talking about his time in space. For nearly a year, Kelly worked at the International Space Station with other scientists from around the world. Today, Kelly talked about how he felt to finally be back on Earth, the pros and cons. One of the cons was that he doesn't feel as strong on Earth.
I also have an issue with my skin, that because it hadn't touched anything for so long, like any